Hey guys, welcome back to Hanging Out with Lori. How are you today? I hope you are doing well. I'm excited for today's video. It has been requested multiple times by multiple people that I do a Shop My Stash. And as you guys know, I've lost all of my inventory that was stored on Google Docs. And so I'm kind of in limbo at the moment while I'm slowly putting in all that inventory all over again. Holy smokes. Oh, before we go any further, let's talk about what's on my lip. I know this is a new thing and I still am not in the rhythm. On my lip, it's a little bright. I have my Nocturnal Rose, which I am panning. I have it on in almost every look. But then I have Strawberry Cheesecake Butter Gloss by NYX on top, just warming it up a little bit, but also making it very bright. So it's competing with my eyeballs is basically what it's doing. So yeah, so that's what's on my lips. A little combo there. This has been requested for months, and I just hadn't done it because, not for any reason other than I'm not sure I understand Shop My Stash all that well, because there's so many different varieties of Shop My Stash, and I don't even know who created Shop My Stash. If you know, please leave it down in the comments so I can give credit where credit is due. I have done weekly product pan for almost 2 years now, and so for me, Shop My Stash is a totally different beast, and it somewhat terrifies me because this has been requested so many times, and I just love the persistence of Nona. She's so sweet because she loves Shop My Stash videos, and she's been really patient, but also saying, hey, why don't you do Shop My Stash? And I love it. For me, Shop My Stash is where I pull items from every category, and I can either create a look, I can use them for however long, whether it's a week rotation, 2 weeks, etc. And so it just kind of fits the bill for what works for me. I did go through and pull out my items for this round of Shop My Stash. I'm thinking maybe, I am not sure. Because of my tremor, I have a hard time holding a camera still, so I will see how it goes, but I can't make any promises on doing a Shop My Stash where we go through my drawers. So I have decided to do Shop My Stash on a 3-week rotation. For me, that works because I have project pan items, and those are on pretty much a 4-week rotation. So this will kind of jump that and have a quicker turnaround, but also allow me time to use the items and really get to know them and see if these are things that work for me or not. And that's kind of the whole driving force for me behind Shop My Stash. Do these items work for me? Have I ever used them? If I haven't, what do I think of? What's my first impression? What's my overall impression after using them for 3 weeks? Is this something I feel I need to continue to keep in my collection, or is it something I can pass on? That's really the gist of my Shop My Stash, because I have so many products that have never been touched, not once, maybe swatched, but definitely never on my face, and I need to get to know those products. So that's really my driving force for this. So I will sometimes have products, very beloved products in here, mixed in with products I have never used before, or I may just have a whole basket full of products I've never used before. I don't know. So that's how I'm going to run my Shop My Stash. I'm not sure if that's right. I could be so off base on how Shop My Stash works. And if I am, just tell me down below, you know. I can't learn and grow without input, you know, feedback. I'm definitely someone who needs info. I am an information junkie, and I search for it and search for it, and sometimes I'm wrong. I have no problem admitting it when I'm wrong. So with all that yakking, let's see what the items are that I have for my first round of Shop My Stash. I'm excited. I put all my Shop My Stash items in this little bucket. So let's see what we have in here. And I try to be smart in that I know I have products and projects, and I don't want to compete with those as much as I want to complement them. Oh no. We had a bodily harm. Okay, so let's start off with eyes. For an eye primer, I brought in my e.l.f. eye primer in sheer. Last time I used this, I noticed it was getting a little dry. So I want to play with this and, you know, kind of hone in on it and see if it's just getting low or if it truly is drying up. It isn't that old, so I would hope it's not drying up. Hopefully it's just that I've used it all up, but I don't think so because I've not used it all that much. So I have this e.l.f. eye primer. Eyeshadow, I brought in 2 palettes that I'm not sure if I want to pass this along or if I want to depot the shadows that I like. And that one is Flower Beauty's Wanderlust palette. This is the NYC Midnight Manhattan. The color story is very pretty. The other palette I brought in, I have never even touched. I finally swatched a few shades right before I filmed this to make sure it was something I wanted to play with at this time of year. And that's BH Cosmetics Love in London. It's a cool toned palette and it's really pretty. These shades are gorgeous. For eyeliners, I pulled 3. I am panning 2 eyeliners right now, so these are more complimentary eyeliners versus ones I will be using constantly. I brought in Avon's Sepia. It's just, I can't even remember what it is now. It's somewhat of like a bronze, which probably wasn't the best idea since I have a bronze already. Is it a bronze? Yeah, it's probably a bronze, so it probably wasn't the best idea. Hopefully I will get some use on it. If not, as long as I don't neglect the one I'm panning, because I'm so close. I also brought in Sugar Plum. This is also an Avon eyeliner. I love Avon's eyeliners. I'm a huge fan of Avon's eyeliners. The only problem is the tip can break off if you press too hard. So we have this nice rich plummy shade. This one I think will complement both of the palettes that I have and also the shadows that I'm panning. And then I brought in Dose of Colors Romance. It's a burnt orange, so it's completely opposite from these other ones. That was a terrible swatch. And pretty much opposite of the eyeshadows or the eyeliners that I'm panning now. I did pull in Glisten by Profusion. It is a liquid eyeshadow, and it might be it could be a glitter. I'm not quite sure. I don't think of it as a glitter as much as I do Stilas, because Stilas are chunkier. So that is it. It's a nice cool tone shade, and I just thought it would go nicely with all of the shadows that I'm panning at the moment. For brows, I am panning a cream eyebrow product that is going to take me at least 7 years, if not 12. But with that cream product, I do use a brow gel. So I brought in my CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow gel. This is a clear brow gel. And for my mascara, I brought in my Ciate London Triple Shot Double XL mascara. I am panning a mascara, but I think I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not. But I brought this in because I want to get more use on it. Last time I went to use it, I noticed it was getting rather dry, and I haven't had it that long, so I want to get as much use on it before it completely dries up, because I was surprised how much I like this mascara. It's not my favorite, but it's definitely up there in the rankings of one of the best mascaras I've ever used. My only complaint is it transfers onto my under eye. See? Right there. And I've had it on maybe an hour. So yeah, that's my only complaint. All right, let's move on to complexion. I brought in this Tarte Quench by the Sea Hydrating Primer. I think I received this in Ipsy, and I've been wanting to try it. And it's been sitting on this dresser right here next to me, and I still haven't tried it. So I pulled it into this so I can try it. I will probably finish it, and that's not my goal in Shop My Stash. My goal is not to finish things, but to use things. So if I don't, that's fine, but my guess is I probably will. I did bring in a foundation. I brought in a fuller coverage foundation than the one that I'm panning. I brought in my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Stick Foundation. The Liquid Complexion Rescue is my favorite foundation, hands down. I'm hoping the formula I like as much as the liquid. I've only used it once, and to be honest, I can't tell you, which is never a good sign if you can't remember what you thought of it. I did bring in 2 different concealers. I brought in my Almay Clear Complexion Concealer, and this is in the shade Light. And then I brought in my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and this is in the shade Light Peach, I do believe. Maybe Fair Peach. It looks like Fair Peach. I really like this concealer. I liked how it laid on my skin. I liked that it wasn't heavy. It was very comfortable, and I never looked dry, which for me, a concealer always looks dry. Doesn't matter. So I really enjoyed this. Now I brought in the Almay concealer because it works the best with my Kosas, and I like this concealer as well. Even though it's meant for oily skin, it's a beautiful concealer, and I don't find it drying in any way. I don't find it uncomfortable. I just think it's a really pretty, very brightening concealer. I do have it on today. Anytime I wear Kosas, I have this on, and I just love it. I brought in my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural Press Powder, and this is in the shade Light. I've had this for quite a while in my collection and just started using it once I finished off my Makeup Revolution press powder. And so I want to see what I think about this. I decided to bring in a bronzer, and it's not really a bronzer, but for some reason, this is what Ipsy sent me. I brought this in because it has a shimmer to it, and this is So Susan's Halo on High Luminizing Powder Cream. This is in the shade Candles and Kisses, and that's what it looks like. This is a highlighter, guys, and Ipsy sent me this beautiful, beautiful highlighter that I could never wear as a highlighter, but I think it'll work like as a, I don't want to call it a bronzer topper, but a bronzer to give just a little bit of shimmer to my very matte bronzer that is in my product 10 uses, or project 10 uses. So I did bring this in. I have never used this because of the color of it, and when I was looking for a shimmery bronzer, I was like, why not use that So Susan product? It's just been hanging out in my collection, and maybe I won't like it, you know, as a shimmery bronzer, and that's okay. But at least it won't be in my collection still if I find that I don't like it and know someone who may enjoy it. The Assault Victim from earlier. Oh no. We had a bodily harm. Is my blush. I brought in Bang Beauty Spiced Peach. I love this blush in the fall, and since I'm panning a very cool toned pink blush, I thought this would go beautifully with it. This is Spiced Peach, and can you tell it was attacked? It was violently attacked in the basket while I wasn't looking. So I wasn't there to protect Spiced Peach, but I will baby her and bring her back to life. But isn't that the prettiest blush for this time of year? That beautiful peachy pink with that gold flip. For a highlighter, I have never worn this. Never, ever, not once. However, I have swatched it quite a few times, and it is an absolutely stunning highlighter, which I can't open, and that's Mirabella's Brilliant Mineral Highlighting Power in Swirling Pearl. So that is what the highlighter looks like. It's a beautiful wash, you know, a lighter, cooler highlighter, and I don't know if she's cooler, but definitely cooler than Champagne Pop. I think this highlighter is stunning by Mirabella, but I've never worn her. Can you believe that? For my lip, I brought in my Ulta Beauty lip crayon in Soiree. It's just a nice warm fall shade. And then the last two items are setting sprays. I brought in my L'Oreal Lumi Shake and Glow Dew Mist. Since the L'Oreal Dew Mist is almost gone, I brought in my Pacifica Crystal Dew setting spray. I really like this setting spray. I like the scent of the setting spray. It is very nice, very sweet, kind of a fruity note, if I remember correctly. So that is it, guys. Please be safe, be smart, take good care of yourself, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.